Good evening and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and tonight I have 4 layouts to share. One is my design team sketch that I completed a couple of days ago for scrapbooking with AnnMarie.com, and those get posted on Fridays, so I am able to share that today. And then I also have 3 new layouts to share, and everything I've done today, and even my design team sketch, obviously, are all based off of sketches, and I have those sketches to share. I don't do a lot of sketches, not that I don't like them, but sometimes it makes me feel boxed in. To have to stick with a sketch or a tutorial or something, and then I get out of my head and realize that I don't have to make it look exact. However, the layout I'm about to share for my design team sketch is probably the closest to almost exact as I have ever come to. So, and I'm sharing this sketch because Anne-Marie's website, the design team sketches are part of the free membership. So you should come if you're not already on there. It's scrapbookingwithanmarie.com. Every Friday we get a new sketch. She's got tons of tutorials. There's a paid membership as well, but this is part of the free membership. So this is the sketch that I was given. With 1 bigger squared picture and 2 circled ones, which I don't normally do because I can't cut a circle to save my life. It usually is more oval, egg-shaped, whatever. So this is the sketch, and like I said, this is about as close to following a sketch without turning it on its head that I have ever come. So there are the 4 squares on the inside. I took this die cuts with a view paper. I've got like 25 sheets of this that I got it Tuesday morning. And so I cut that on my Cricut in 4 5x5 squares and laid them out on this bright yellow cardstock. This is for my nephew's birthday party. My brother-in-law would probably kill me for posting this. And then on my Cricut, I cut the rectangle for the mat, which I normally would do on my trimmer, but my Creative Memories trimmer, the mat is getting worn out, and so I just figured I'd go ahead and get a smooth cut on my Cricut. Same with the paper circles. I did have to cut the pictures myself. I'm pretty proud of myself. I cut an extra circle on my Cricut that was, I think these are 4.5 inches, and I cut another circle that was like 4 inches, and I traced around it with my black and white Creative Memories pencil, and then cut around, and I'm really proud of myself for as close to a circle as it is. And then I cut these squares, and then I cut 5 circles, and then had rings cut, or had little circles inside of it so that it would leave the holes. And I do have the little inside circles for a future layout because this is just one of many that will go to this birthday party for my nephew. The only thing I really didn't do was, she looks like there's a paper strip that's the same color as the background, and I used this washi tape that is in my little use it all the time little bin. And then I put another strip up here and put my title. There was no specific spot for a title on here, so I picked where it went. So this is my layout. Like I said, I created it, I believe, on Wednesday this week. It is Friday. And I love it. And I did do this, I will say, wonky on purpose because I know myself well enough to know it was going to be hard to center them. So I centered this one on purpose and then wonkied the other ones on purpose. I know this is not centered, so I also know myself very well. And I just titled it I won 1500 because he is like super awesome at playing these claw games and all those kind of games. So he had won a thing. That's why I chose to do the rings, because what he was playing was playing for these rings that have like ticket amounts on them. So there is page number 1. Now to Disney. I still have a few more pages to do, not a whole lot, and then I got to go through my book and get some stuff organized. Now, this sketch, see, I told you I like to do things wonky, is, I'm going backwards. This is day 3 of 30 sketchy videos, and it's with Laura Alberts and, oh my gosh, the Scrappy sisters, and I'm gonna think of her name. It's Christy, Crystal. I will have the details in the link below because I can't remember. I have watched so many people create one of these, or multiples of these actually. If you all are not watching these videos, you need to do it because they're so great. And there's tons of people who are following along and making the actual process videos as they go. These sketches are great, and then they tie in something with Scraptember. 30 sketchy videos and Scraptember, and it's Laura Alberts and the Scrappy sisters and Christy's. I'm gonna have it down below, I promise. I don't know why I can't remember. Anyway, so this is the sketch that was picked, and then the Scraptember thing that they want you to try and tie in for day 3 was layers. So I took this, and of course, you know me, turned it on its noggin, because the picture that I had to scrapbook was this one. Now, after I trimmed it down, I could have made it work this way, but I had already decided I wanted to scrapbook this receipt. This is while we are waiting in line to get on our plane, and this is the receipt from the Sanford International Airport in Orlando. It is nothing exciting. It's for my son's Powerade and my Dunkin' Donuts coffee drink. I mean, you know, it's not anything great, but I wanted the picture done. This was the only picture of us waiting in the terminal. The rest of them are either like boarding or on the plane, and so this really just fit more for this picture. So I made it longer, turned it sideways. All of these are scraps, so I took the border, the branding strips from my paper, the paper pad that I used, and just cut them. So this is probably 5 branding strips maybe. I marked where the picture was going to be. Like I matted it on black and then yellow because I wanted it to stand out. I laid it down, moved it up a smidge, and made a little line. Put it back where I wanted it, moved it down a smidge, made a line, did the same side to side. So then I laid double-sided tape here and here so that I knew where I needed to make sure the papers ended, the strips. So everything on here is from my goodie bag. Most everything is from the Well-Traveled Recollections paper pad. And then I know this border especially, and the border on the bottom, I believe, are from the Park Lane Local Travel. And let me set these aside. Okay, so this is all my scrappy bits for travel, and I pull things out of here first if I can, so that I can try and use this stuff up, if at all possible. So, that's what this is from. Actually, this is from the Well-Traveled from Recollections. So all of these, except for this little skinnier green one, which is a basil border strip, but all the rest of them are actually the branding strips that are inside the paper pad. Every one of them is a different color, and it's really cool. And so I just use those, and like this is just one of them. All 4 of these pieces is just from 1/12 by like ½ inch branding strip. And I just trimmed it and put them on here and lined them up. So to make my circle, I took this scrap that I will end up using on a page someday probably, and I laid it down. I took a blue marker, one of my Zig memory pens, a fatter one, and traced it all the way around because I wasn't 100% sure I was coming here, so I just want to go ahead and make a full circle. Then it's one of the double-sided ones, and so I took the fat side, and then I made moved this over a little and did the skinny side. Then I got a darker blue Zig pen and did the exact same thing. And then because I knew I wanted to bring in gold accents a little bit from a Sticko travel paper set, I took my gold marker, a thick one, and then a thin pen and did the same thing. So that's how I made the circle. On here, I can't tell if it's stitching or it's blurry. If it's stitching, but it looks like there's like sketched out circles. So I just did the circles with that. And instead of ink, I use these stars. There is an actual, it's not a parenthesis. I know it's got a name and I can't think of what it is right this minute. So since I tilted everything on mine, I actually kept that where it is, but I squashed it down and I did my little journaling in gold right here and put some more stars. Titled the page Together in Line. I used another one of my chip pad things. I'm trying to use all of these Making Memories chipboard things up because these are from like 2007. They're super old, and 2008. They don't stick anymore. They come apart as I take them out. It's a hot mess. So I'm trying to use these up, and so anytime I can find a title that will work with that, I do it. So Together in Line is what I titled the page. This came out of the Well-Traveled book. These were actually a light blue and they blended right in. So I just took an ink pad and inked over it to make it a darker blue so it'd stand out better. I fussy cut these suitcases and a couple of these suitcases out of the Well-Traveled book as well. And I just tucked a couple, like a plane and this little first class. We did not fly first class, people. I'm just putting that out there. Stickers from the Sticko travel book, and I put the borders on here because there are borders on this gray on the top and bottom are borders. So officially it should have been on this side, but to me it looked better the way that I put it on here. For me, the way I had laid my page out. So you all need to get on these. They are so fun, and I've enjoyed stepping out of my comfort zone and creating this page. So there is page number 1 for today. Although this is page sketch number 3. 3. Okay, so this is sketch number 2. I'm going so backwards, but actually this is how I did them. It started with 3 and went to 2 and then to 1 because that's just the way I roll. This is the sketch for day number 2 for the same thing. It's 30 sketches, 30 days of sketches. It's driving me nuts that I can't think of her name. I'm going to find it and I'm going to let you know. So she has 3 pictures, or whoever did this sketch. It's not on here. There are 3 2.5 by 3.5 pictures. There's a bunch of scraps or, strips here, and it looks like a bunch of strips and maybe some, just some little curly bits, maybe some mixed media, not for sure, and then a bunch of stars in these different places. And then this says title, long title. So I actually did this pretty much according to plan, except I did not use stars. I used Mickey heads, and I would love to have done some splattering, but this theme for day 2, other than the sketch, was black and white. So a lot of people I've watched did black and white pictures and then color on their page. Some did all black and white with like a pop of blue. So that's kind of where I went. The pictures I used are in color, but they're not like tons of color except for our masks. So the blue is the color. So I matted it on the same, very similar shade of blue. And then I matted the blue on a black paper. So this is the paper pad I use for everything but the back, but that blue is the Park Lane black and white. perfect for this challenge. Perfect. It's got lots of great pages in there. So everything I used came from there, except, like I said, the blue. And then there's one strip, this one right here, came out of my scraps. And it is, I think, probably an American Crafts paper that I had a strip of. And I just put them, I matted it on black so it'd stand out on this white paper. So anything that was predominantly white, I matted on black, just very thin border, before I put the strips down. I did this very similarly to the other page, where I decided where I wanted it, moved it up a bit, and made my mark so I knew where to put the strips. So none of these are full length strips. They're little pieces because there's no point in wasting paper. And if I've got 10 strips and I could stretch it to look like there's all these strips on here, then why not? Plus, if I layered like 12-inch strips here and 12-inch strips here, they'd be piled up back there and my picture would be coming up, and I didn't want that. So I feel like this is the best way to go. So I use these Mickey heads instead of the stars, and I would have used some that were bigger, but I didn't have any more right now, and I really didn't want to take away from the picture. And since they're blue and they have that color, I figure that's like the first thing you really see on this page. And since I, Michael's be darned, have ordered some some kind of Ranger sprays. They're shiny, shimmery ones, and they haven't come in yet. And I ordered them over a week ago, and I'm frustrated. I want them, and I ordered a black. I don't have any black ink except for ink pads, which is what I did. I took a Mickey Mouse head and laid it down in different places and used a black Distress ink pad. Let's see if I can get it off of here. Nope, not without taking them off. So my black soot, and I just put the ink around the Mickey head so it would leave like these little Mickey ears since we are coming back from Disney. So I did that all in this area so it would give that extra texture there. And then it was actually an orange Mickey Mouse head, and so I had already made it almost all black, so I made the rest of it black, and then I did two more that way that were like an orange or a teal, a light teal. Orange and teal are not the same at all. So all three of these were originally orange, so I inked them up so that they would be black. And then I had a bunch of the little Mickey heads, so I just added those in there. And then for my title, I used one of the cut-aparts from the black and white Park Lane book, and I chose Hello Love. It's my sweet boy sleeping on my shoulder on the plane. I cut out the creepy stalker guy sitting next to us who was like totally eyeballing. And then my friend Anne Marie sent me some of these neat Mickey cutouts in the mail, and so I'm using some of those, and I put it back here so it would kind of stand out, and then put some black behind it so it would not disappear into the paper. And then I fussy cut some flowers from the black and white paper pad. I think it's the back of this black and white polka dot here, or maybe this one, and just tucked those in. And voila. And I did cut this off because that is how the sketch, I have not zoomed in so far that it's cut something off. It actually is cut like that on there. So that, I did not put my title here though. I did put this extra little boo-bah, whatever I'm going to call it. I don't even know. Little titling space down here. So I love this paper. The black and white paper had some really neat pages, but I picked this one since I picked the Hello Love. I thought this black and white heart was perfect. So this is day number 2, sketch with black and white as the prompt. And there is that page. And last but not least, this page probably took me longer than it should have, only because I was like really anal about how it laid out. Now, this is day 1, September 1st sketch for the 30 days of sketching. And it was created by Laura Whitaker. So, and the prompt for this day is stitching. So this triangle, there's like 3 of them, and they are stitched, or I guess that's what the concept is. So I don't sew. So I actually was going to. I do have some threads and everything. I was going to sew, but I couldn't find a needle. So my plan is to find one and maybe in the future do some stitching, maybe see how that goes. We'll see. So this is the sketch, and it's got bunches of layers on here. It looks like it's a Christmas sketch. It looks like an ornament. Um, so I, of course, did not want to go with a Christmas theme. I am still in Disney and trying to get these pages done. So I did use 3 pictures, although one of mine was a 4x6 that was horizontal and not, nope, vertical, not horizontal, which is how this one is. So I cropped it down as much as I felt comfortable. And then I had these 2 pictures as we were taking off and while we were in the air out the window of our airplane. And I had the perfect embellishments, and I saw them when I first bought this, and I knew I wanted to use them for these pictures. So when I saw this, I decided this entire page, this whole entire layout would be done with Obed Marshall's Buenos Dias collection, because I had this 12 by 12 chipboard, and it had these 2 windows, and I knew I had taken these pictures and it was perfect. So I decided that I was going to challenge myself to, like, not necessarily 100%, but almost 100% of this entire layout was going to be Obed Marshall's Buenos Dias collection. I do not typically stick to like one thing. I usually like pull from all over the place, especially since I don't have a lot of like one person or one designer's things. That's just not how I buy things, like individually. I mean, if I like a paper pad, I'll get it. So I have, from where Joann's had a big sale, I bought it quite a bit, and I've used quite a bit of it already, of the individual sheets from the Buenos Dias collection. And then I bought the 8x6 paper pad, and now I bought the 12 by 12 chipboard. This is all I have. I don't have anything else, and so I was really, and I had used a ton of this already. So all I used off of here was these 2, and I had a heart, and that is all I had. So I could have used these, but after I had already finished with the paper stuff, there was just not enough room for anything more. There are things on here I could have used if I didn't already, but that's okay. I made it work for me. I did use pages out of the Buenos Dias 6x8, and then the rest of it is all from the 12 by 12 sheets. So this is one of the base pages from that collection. This paper, the polka dot here, and this paper is from the 6x8 collection. These tags came out of the 6x8 collection. They were cut aparts. And then this is a 12 by 12 that I trimmed off a 5.5 inch by 12 piece, and then cut a couple of inches off, and then made a fishtail, probably my nicest fishtail. This is why it took me so long, guys. So then after I had it all laid out, now normally I just throw things on, like I just put it on there. But because everything needed to be just right for the stitching triangle that comes down, I needed to get everything built from the top, like the pictures. Then I matted the pictures, and then I built all of these different layers. So there's a fishtail banner, then there's another piece here, then there's another piece there. There's a scallop, and I did not do that. So I built everything from the pictures, the matting, the banner, and then the 2 little tucked in pieces. So I did all of that from the top down, and then added embellishments. So I put these on top of these 2 little tags, and then I created this title up here that says "Love This," and then got this from my Obed Marshall chipboard. The only thing other than my pictures that is not from the Obed Marshall collection is my Park Lane gemstones that I put on here. That is it. Everything else is from the Obed Marshall Buenos Dias collection. And to make my stitch marks, I took my, this is my notepad, the paper that I used to do all my inking, can you tell? I just laid this down because this was originally I made myself a triangle, and by using cutting an 8.5 by 11, but it just made this part was too small, and I didn't want a triangle that looked like this, that looked silly to me. So I really wanted it to be more width and more of a width. So I took this and just pushed this down and took my marker and made my faux stitching, and then I'm faux stitched down here and that, and then I laid my papers down to make sure that they fit to where everything went where I wanted it to. So there it is. So here is day 1. See, I'm so backwards. Maybe tomorrow I'll actually do day 4 since I couldn't do anything else. So this is day 1. And like I said, the prompt was stitching. So I will find the details and I will post them because I hate that I cannot remember the name of I think it might be Crystal Barrett. I can't believe that my brain is not working. Okay. Yep. No, Christy's Beautiful Life. Whew, good grief. See, I've watched a lot of people. Christy's Beautiful Life. So 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. Oh, man. So it's a hashtag 30 DSCBL8 because I guess I've been told this is her 8th year to do it. So, or her 8th time she's done it. So you should check it out. It's very awesome. You can sign up on Facebook to see the sketches. I was real clever, if you want to call it that, and got on YouTube, and Laura Alberts always shows the full sketch in the beginning of her YouTube video, and I would pause it and screenshot it and then edit it so it would be just the sketch and not all the box around it. So that is how I ended up getting my sketches so that I could actually look at them over and over again. But I also watched Laura Albert and the Scrappy sisters and State Goddess and Crystal Barrett and all of the other people who have been following along. Oh, and Scrapper Adam, I think it is. So I just love the different ways that people do things. So if you're interested in sketches and a challenge, then you should check it out and post what you do because everybody likes to look at how everybody takes sketches in a different way. So now with all of that running off my mouth, I am going to say goodnight for today. It's Friday the 3rd of September. I had to think about what day it is. Tomorrow, I'm hoping that I'm feeling even better than I am today so that I can get some more stuff done, finish up Disney, go through my books and get all the little extra add-ons done, and maybe do day 4 sketch for tomorrow. And I've got some stuff on Scrapbooking with Anne-Marie that I want to get caught up on because we have a daily prompt on there. So I'm really excited about getting caught up with that too. So I hope you all have a great evening. Have a wonderful weekend here in the United States. It is a long 3-day weekend with Labor Day. So I hope you all have an amazing weekend. And I hope you get a chance to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping.